If you want to change your life, you have to move. You have to stop playing it safe. Safe doesn't get you anywhere. Safe doesn't build legacies. Safe doesn't push you to grow. If you want more, you have to do more. And it all starts with the small actions you take every single day. You see, success isn't about one big moment. It's about the tiny choices that seem insignificant in the moment, but add up over time. The decision to wake up early instead of sleeping in. The decision to put in the extra reps at the gym. The decision to read instead of scroll through your phone. The decision to make one more call, send one more email, take one more step. At first, it won't feel like it's making a difference, but that's where most people get it wrong. Progress is invisible at first. It's happening beneath the surface where you can't see it. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not working. Every great success story starts with years of unseen effort, years of discipline, of showing up, of doing the small things when no one else is watching. Look at anyone who's made it to the top in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, musicians, leaders. They didn't just wake up successful. They weren't handed success. They built it, and they built it with small, consistent actions. Most people overthink everything. They analyze, they hesitate, they get stuck in their own heads, and because of that, they never move. But what they don't realize is that action is what brings clarity. You don't need to have the perfect plan, you just need to start. When you take action, you figure things out along the way, you adjust, you learn, you grow, but if you never start, you'll never know what's possible. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed because you were too afraid to take the first step? How many dreams have you put on hold because you weren't sure if you were ready? How much time have you wasted waiting for a sign when the only sign you needed was the one staring you in the mirror? The difference between people who win and people who lose, it's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's action. It's the decision to stop waiting, stop making excuses, and just take that first step. Because once you do, you realize something powerful. Action creates clarity. The truth is, life is happening right now. Every decision you make, every action you take is shaping your future. But too many people are stuck waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting until they feel ready. But let me tell you something, there is no perfect time. There is no magic moment when everything lines up for you. The only way to move forward is to start before you're ready. Most people look at success as something distant, something only a select few achieve. They think it takes a massive breakthrough, some stroke of luck, or a perfect opportunity to make it. But that's a lie. Success is built, not gifted, and it's built one small action at a time. Because once you trust yourself, once you know you're someone who shows up no matter what, you become unstoppable. So today, stop overthinking, stop doubting, stop waiting for the perfect time. Just take one step. One action, because that one action will lead to another and another and another until one day you look back and realize you've created something incredible. Because small actions don't just create big results, they create unstoppable people. And here's what's even crazier. Small actions don't just change your results, they change you. Every time you take action, you're proving something to yourself. You're telling yourself, I'm the type of person who follows through. You're building self-respect, you're building discipline, and that's priceless. You have to treat every small action like it matters, because it does. You might not see the results today, you might not see them next week, but if you keep planting the seeds, one day you'll wake up and realize you're living in the harvest. You'll have the success you once only imagined. The truth is, everything you want is on the other side of consistency. The dream body, the financial freedom, the skills, the confidence, everything. But you'll never reach it if you keep stopping and starting, stopping and starting. But what if you didn't back off? What if instead of quitting, you just kept going? What if instead of needing motivation, you relied on commitment? Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack consistency. They do the right thing once in a while, but not every day. They go to the gym for a few weeks, then stop. They work on their business for a month, then get discouraged. They start with enthusiasm, but when it gets hard, they back off. And it starts with the smallest things. Waking up on time instead of hitting snooze. Making that one extra sales call. Taking 5 extra minutes to work on your craft, saying no to distractions, saying yes to discomfort, because every time you make the right choice, you're strengthening a habit, and habits are what shape your life. How many times have you told yourself, maybe this isn't for me just because it got hard? How many times have you looked at someone else winning and thought they must have had it easier? But let me tell you something, the people at the top didn't get there by accident. They struggled too. They wanted to quit too. But the difference, they kept going when others stopped. That's the decision you have to make. Will you stop or will you keep going? But the problem is, most people don't stick around long enough to see the momentum kick in. They stop before the breakthrough. They stop pushing the boulder when it's just about to move. They let doubt creep in. They talk themselves out of success. Success isn't a straight line. It's like pushing a giant boulder. At first, it barely moves. You push and it feels impossible. But the more you push, the more momentum you build. And once that boulder starts rolling, once it picks up speed, nothing can stop it. That's what small actions do. They create momentum. They make the impossible feel effortless over time. Success isn't a straight line. It's like pushing a giant boulder. At first, it barely moves. You push and it feels impossible. But the more you push, the more momentum you build. And once that boulder starts rolling, once it picks up speed, nothing can stop it. That's what small actions do. They create momentum. They make the impossible feel effortless over time. Most people underestimate the power of small actions because they don't see immediate results. They want the payoff now, but that's not how success works. The process is invisible in the beginning. You put in the work, and for weeks, maybe even months, it feels like nothing is happening. That's where most people quit. They stop because they don't see the results fast enough. But what they don't realize is that every small action is stacking up behind the scenes. So right now, make the decision. Take one small action toward your goal, just one, and then another, and then another. Stack those small wins. Build that momentum. Keep going, because in the end, it's not one big move that will change your life. It's the small, consistent actions that lead to the biggest results. Because here's the truth. There is no tomorrow. There is only right now. If you don't start today, then when? If you don't take action now, what makes you think you'll take action later? Nothing changes until you do. Nothing moves until you move. Some of you have been stuck for too long. You've been waiting, hesitating, procrastinating. You've been saying, I'll start tomorrow. But let me ask you this. How many times have you said that? How many times have you pushed your goals to the side? How much time have you already wasted? Think about a train. A train at rest takes an enormous amount of energy to start moving. But once it's going, once it's at full speed, nothing can stop it. That's what happens when you commit to the process. That's what happens when you stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the right time and just start taking action. You build momentum, and then momentum carries you forward. And here's the best part. Small actions don't just create success, they create momentum. Once you start, once you get moving, it gets easier. The hardest part is always the beginning. It's making that first decision to change. It's pushing through the first few weeks when you don't see progress. But once you build momentum, once those small actions become habits, you become unstoppable. Some of you are sitting around waiting for motivation. Let me tell you something. Motivation is a myth. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. Motivation fades. It comes and goes. But discipline is what gets results. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's making the tough choices when no one is watching. It's showing up, putting in the work, and knowing that even if you don't see results today, you're still getting closer to your goal. But too many people want instant results. They want to go to the gym once and see abs in the mirror. They want to work hard for a month and expect a promotion. They want the reward without the effort. But life doesn't work like that. If you want something, you have to earn it. You have to build it. And that means doing the little things every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Look at the greatest athletes in the world. They don't just practice when they feel like it. They don't take days off because they're tired. They put in the extra reps, the extra drills, the extra workouts when nobody's watching. And that's why they win. They aren't waiting for a big break. They are creating it through discipline, through small actions that add up over time. Success isn't about talent. It's about consistency. It's about doing the things that other people aren't willing to do. You don't get in shape by working out once. You don't become wealthy by saving money once. You don't become a master at your craft by practicing once. It's the repetition, the grind, the willingness to keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is happening, that separates the winners from everyone else. Most people want success, but they don't want to do what it takes to get there. They look at the greats, the champions, the millionaires, the industry leaders, and they think, if only I had their talent, their luck, their connections. But they're missing the truth. The truth is, those people got where they are because they committed to the small things. They mastered the basics. They took action day after day before anyone even noticed them. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop looking for the big opportunity. Start with what you have right now. Take the small actions that will push you forward. Make the extra call. Do the extra rep. Wake up a little earlier. Read the book. Learn the skill. Keep stacking those small wins. And before you know it, they'll turn into something huge. Because in the end, it's the small actions that create the biggest results. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They put in the effort for a week, a month, maybe even a year, and when they don't see massive change, they give up. But success isn't about what you see today. It's about what you build over time. Just like a seed doesn't grow into a tree overnight, your efforts won't pay off instantly. But if you keep watering that seed, if you keep taking action, one day you'll look back and realize you created something incredible. So ask yourself, what small actions are you taking every day? Are they moving you forward or are they holding you back? Are you making excuses or are you making progress? Because the truth is, every little choice matters. And when you commit to doing the right things day in and day out, even when it's hard, even when no one sees it, even when you don't feel like it, that's when you start to see real results. But here's the other side. Small actions work both ways. Just like small good habits add up to success, small bad habits add up to failure. Skipping one workout turns into skipping a week. Sleeping in once turns into a habit of laziness. Making one excuse turns into a lifestyle of settling for less. Every decision you make is taking you closer to your goal or further away from it. There is no in between. A champion doesn't become a champion overnight. They train every day. They show up when they're tired. They push through when nobody's watching. They don't wait for motivation. They rely on discipline. And because they do the small things consistently, they step onto the field, the court, the stage, or the business world ready to dominate. If you don't believe me, look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by making one big move. They got there by showing up every single day, by putting in the work even when they didn't feel like it, by doing the little things that nobody else wanted to do. They made the extra effort, and that effort compounded over time. But here's the other side. Small actions work both ways. Just like small good habits add up to success, small bad habits add up to failure. Skipping one workout turns into skipping a week. Sleeping in once turns into a habit of laziness. Making one excuse turns into a lifestyle of settling for less. Every decision you make is taking you closer to your goal or further away from it. There is no in between. A champion doesn't become a champion overnight. They train every day. They show up when they're tired. They push through when nobody's watching. They don't wait for motivation. They rely on discipline. And because they do the small things consistently, they step onto the field, the court, the stage, or the business world ready to dominate. If you don't believe me, look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by making one big move. They got there by showing up every single day, by putting in the work even when they didn't feel like it, by doing the little things that nobody else wanted to do. They made the extra effort, and that effort compounded over time. But here's the problem. Most people overlook the small things. They don't think getting up early one time matters. They don't think making one extra phone call will change their business. They don't believe hitting the gym for one workout will make a difference, so they don't do it. And because they don't do it, they never build momentum. They stay stuck waiting for that one big moment to come along and change everything, but that moment never comes because it's the small actions that create it. Think about an avalanche. It doesn't start with a mountain collapsing all at once. It starts with a single snowflake, one tiny movement, then another, and before you know it, the whole thing is unstoppable. That's what happens when you commit to small actions. They stack up, they build momentum, and they create a force that no one can stop. Most people think success comes from one big moment, one big opportunity that changes everything. But that's not how it works. Success is built on small actions, repeated over and over until they create something massive. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have everything you want. You earn it through the small choices you make every single day. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They don't fail because they don't have the resources, the talent, or the opportunity. They fail because they stop too soon. They quit before the breakthrough. They slow down when things get tough. They hesitate when they should push forward. And that hesitation, that's what keeps them stuck. Listen, there will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when everything feels easy. The people who succeed don't wait until they feel like it. They take action no matter what. They show up on the days when it's hard. They do the work even when no one is clapping for them. And over time, those small efforts, they build into something massive. But here's what holds most people back. They focus too much on the outcome instead of the process. They're obsessed with the end result, the success, the reward. But when they don't see it fast enough, they get discouraged. They think, what's the point? I'm doing all this work and nothing's happening. And that's when they stop. But the ones who win, they fall in love with the process. They don't just do the work because they want the reward. They do the work because they are committed to becoming the kind of person who does the work. They aren't just chasing results. They're chasing growth. They're chasing discipline. They're chasing the version of themselves they know they can become. And when you shift your mindset like that, everything changes. Because suddenly, it's not about making it someday. It's about showing up today. It's about doing the little things that might not feel like they matter in the moment, but are shaping your future in ways you can't even see yet. Think about an athlete training for a championship. They don't just show up on game day and expect to win. They prepare for months, years before they ever step onto that court or field. They wake up early. They train when they're tired. They sacrifice when no one else is watching. They do the drills, the reps, the workouts every single day. And the reason they succeed isn't just because they're naturally gifted. It's because they've built the habits that success requires. They've trained their minds and their bodies to push through when it's tough. They've learned to trust that if they keep putting in the work, the results will come. So let me ask you, what small actions are you taking today that will set you up for success tomorrow? Are you making excuses or are you making moves? Are you waiting for the perfect opportunity or are you creating it? Because at the end of the day, your success is in your hands. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about who you know. It's about what you do every single day. The small choices you make today might not seem like much, but over time, they compound. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you choose to push instead of quit, every time you show up when you could have made an excuse, that's another brick in the foundation of your success. And eventually, that foundation is unshakable. The problem is, too many people are looking for instant gratification. They want results now. They want success now. But success doesn't work that way. Success is earned. It's built through patience, through persistence, through a relentless commitment to growth. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to take action every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't see results, even when you feel like quitting, you will succeed. It's not a question of if, it's only a matter of when. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop looking for permission, take action, build the habits, stay disciplined, keep showing up, because the people who win, they don't do anything special. They just refuse to stop. Most people think success is about luck, about being in the right place at the right time. But let me tell you something. Luck favors the prepared. The ones who win aren't just lucky. They've been putting in the work behind the scenes. They've been consistent, disciplined, and committed to the small actions that stack up over time. The problem is most people give up too soon. They try something for a few weeks, don't see results, and quit. They start a new habit, but when it gets hard, they look for an easier way out. They want the shortcut, the hack, the fast track to success. But there are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. The only way to win is to stay in the game. Think of it like planting seeds. When a farmer plants crops, he doesn't see results overnight. He waters the soil, nurtures the land, and waits. He trusts the process. He knows that just because he doesn't see progress today doesn't mean nothing is happening. But if he were to stop watering, if he were to walk away too soon, he'd never see the harvest. That's exactly how success works. You have to trust the process. You have to keep planting, keep watering, keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because one day, when you least expect it, everything you've worked for will start to grow. But here's the key. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they're inconsistent. They do something for a little while and then they stop. They put in the effort when they feel motivated, but when the excitement wears off, they slow down. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. If you want to win, you have to show up every single day, even on the days when you don't feel like it, even on the days when it feels pointless, because every action you take is either bringing you closer to your goals or pushing you further away. There is no in between. Let's talk about discipline, because motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation runs out. It's what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who stay stuck. Discipline is waking up early even when you're tired. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is making excuses. It's doing the work when nobody's watching. It's choosing progress over comfort, growth over ease, long-term success over short-term pleasure. And here's what's crazy. Once you build discipline, everything else gets easier. The things that used to feel like a struggle become second nature. The habits that felt impossible become automatic. And suddenly, you're not just someone trying to succeed, you're someone who expects to succeed. Because success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. When you start taking small actions every day, you're not just working toward a goal, you're transforming yourself. You're becoming someone who follows through, someone who does what they said they were going to do, someone who is unstoppable. And let me tell you, when you become that person, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop doubting yourself. You stop hesitating because you know deep down that nothing can stop you. So today, make a choice, a real choice, not just a half-hearted, I'll try, not just a maybe someday, a real no turning back decision. Decide that you are going to take action every day. Decide that you will show up no matter what. Decide that you are done making excuses, done waiting, done hoping things will change, because success isn't about what you want. It's about what you're willing to do. And if you're willing to take the small actions, if you're willing to stay consistent, if you're willing to push forward, even when it's hard, you will win. No question, no doubt. It's only a matter of time. So if you're sitting there wondering why your life hasn't changed yet, ask yourself, what small actions are you taking? Are you doing the work when no one is watching? Are you taking responsibility for your future? Are you pushing forward even when it's uncomfortable? Because the reality is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. If you want to change your life, it's on you. But the good news, you don't have to do it all at once. You just have to start. One step, one action, and then another, and then another. Because small actions don't just create big results, they create a new version of you. And that's where real success begins.